Hey monkeys, I'm back. So this is take 2 of this live stream. I already had an audience, 2 people watching, and I had to cut the live stream because of a technical issue. Well, that's what I thought, but at first, you know what? I'll explain when my audience comes back. Okay. So, you're watching Guitar Quackery Live. This is the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel. Okay? Remember that. And, well, I said it a few times already, and I'm going to say it again. So that's to the best of my knowledge. I'm not aware of anyone else live streaming guitar repair projects from a workshop. I am aware of this channel, Unquendor Guitars, this channel. Okay, so he does live streams from his shop, but he's a builder. Okay, I'm a builder too, but this is my repair shop. So I do have a fabrication shop at a nearby location, but it's not this shop. And my fabrication shop currently is in disarray, so I'm not fabricating much. You know, maybe just some jigs and some templates and stuff like that, or, you know, hardware for guitars, but not entire guitars at the moment. Ah, my audience is back. So who's back? Well, either Aficionado is back. He was watching the previous attempt at this live stream. This is take 2 now. Okay. As I was saying, so tell me who you are. Just chat. All right. Maybe it's someone else. I don't know. I can see that I do have an audience of 1. But as I was saying, during take 1, which I had to interrupt, I am hoping to finish this guitar today. This is the Partscaster. Now, why did I have to cut it short? Well, I made a mistake on the switcher, so I switched back to my logo. Oh, it's Dr. Jeffrey Boyle. Okay, so you're back as well. So I made a mistake on my switcher, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I kind of hate that. You know, this is the closing, I think it's going to be the closing episode on this playlist. I want it to be right. Oh, and I need to send a text message with the link to the customer. So don't I do that first? Bear with me. So for those of you who are new to this channel, I live stream some of my projects, and some of my customers get to watch me in real time as I work on their guitars. And this customer is about to watch me. The link just went out. As I was saying, I had to interrupt my attempt at live streaming. Well, I was live streaming, but, you know, because I made a mistake on the switcher. But then I noticed something else. Right over there behind the microscope, you couldn't see it, was a piece of equipment that I am not ready to disclose as of just yet. And that's because I am about to make a major announcement. There's been some major developments here. Well, one major development. And, you know, I just want to make the announcement the right way. So I didn't want to show the equipment. So I realized after I messed up the thing on the switcher that that thing was also almost in full view, but the microscope was kind of from this angle shielding it. So luckily no one saw it. But then, you know, with camera switching and all that, I would have to figure out a strategic way to move it out of out of view. Now it's here, okay? All right, you can't see it. And the third reason is my battery was almost dead. So here, I just restore the power level, okay? Now, I hope I'm going to finish this project. Hope, right? Because we can't really predict the future of Partscaster projects. That's one thing about Partscasters. But I now have a method that I believe will work. So so here I prepared this surface. Well, you know, there's nothing there yet, but I'm going to show you how I predict if I'm going to be done with the project. So just look at that, right? And here it is. Okay, so yeah, I feel, yeah, I can feel that this is going to be the last live stream on this project. You might be wondering why I have a crystal ball. Well, I keep it outside now, along with this sign, okay? So I can show you. All right, so this is my permanent display now, so that people don't need to ask me one of the frequently asked questions. This is it. Right, all right. Get your answer. Okay. That's the reliable way to find out when your guitar will be ready. All right, let me put this back and let's get busy. All right, so I'm not working yet, but since I'm live streaming, I guess it's okay to do a little bit of small talk before I put the guitar on the bench. This way, people can, you know, log on and watch. We all know this guitar, yeah? So, all right. So, I think that once we're done with it, we're just gonna love it more. How about that? Let's keep a positive mind. Okay. Yeah. So so far, so good. So we need to install the ferrules, and the these holes were too tight initially. So I don't have the tool to do this, so I did, you know, kind of, well, had to enlarge them, but now they're not as tight as I want them to be. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just to make sure that they don't fall out during restringing. Why not? It's just a little bit of Tide Bond on the side. 1, 2, like that. It's really not what I want to be doing, but sometimes it needs to be done, and that's just how this guitar will be. It's a Partscaster. It needs to be non-standard. And you can still pull them out. So to soften the glue, you use a soldering iron on the ferrules. Obviously, we need to make sure that we don't get any glue. We just want a little bit of glue, right? Because we don't want any squeeze out. And look, I'm getting this blue glitter now into my glue. So I noticed a little bit on the side here. This is a brand new glue that I just bought. I didn't get any inside. I was just when I was rubbing it against the inner wall. Always something. Okay, and let's just place them inside. They are kind of tight, so yeah. So this way we won't deal with them falling out. I did show you a hack last time. If you lose one of those, what you can do. So you gotta watch part 10, okay? And look, they are not going to fall out. Excellent. Let's put the guitar here. I honestly can't remember if, because I remember that this, I did put the strings on this guitar. I just can't remember if I worked on the nut or not. I guess we'll just have to find out. The customer is providing the strings this time. Some kind of Ernie balls, I think. Ernie ball, there. Oh yeah, cobalt, that's what he wants. Okay, I don't sell them because I'm a small shop. I don't sell every string imaginable or available. Look at that, there's an audience. Oh, okay, 5 people watching. 3 likes. Oh, okay, already, that's a good percentage. One reason why I don't deal with Ernie ball strings is because of this I like to just open a pack of strings, pull them all out, and then unravel. And these are individually packed. So, yeah, it takes more time. I'm not sure if, in terms of an environmental impact, if this uses up more paper or not, because the Dario strings come in a paper kind of, oh, this is it. Well, that's a 3-pack, but this is thicker paper, right? So does it amount to the same amount of whatever paper fibers? I don't know. I do like to recycle everything, but to be perfectly honest, I don't know if things actually get recycled always. Well, they don't always get recycled. Yeah, whatever. What can I do? What can we do? I don't know. All right. So if we're lucky, like I said, I don't know if I filed the nut or not. So in the worst case scenario, we need to do that. In the best case scenario, we just need to do a setup. So we'll know once I put the strings on. It's Tele with the 3 saddles, but they are the compensated saddles. So we will get better intonation, I hope. And you know what? I just realized I didn't shim this neck. I am going to shim it. And I'll tell you why. Yeah, I'll tell you because this is an educational channel. And some people might be wondering why you're shimming the neck or neck pocket. So when you shim the neck, you tilt it, you kind of overset it a little bit. You alter the angle. And I know that these strings were on I wasn't paying much attention, or maybe I was, but it's it's been a few weeks since I've seen this guitar. And as you can see, these screws are sticking out. Okay, so if you do any palm muting, that kind of doesn't feel good. So I'm going to shim it. So when we shim the neck, we tilt it like this, which lowers the strings, which then requires the saddles to be raised up. And when you raise the saddles, you basically drive these screws into the saddles. That's the idea. So why don't I remove the neck so we can shim it? It's good for people to understand why things are done a certain way. Now, you know what? I just put the strings on, and now I gotta do this. Not ideal. So let me put it like this. Okay. I don't want to kink the strings. I removed this neck quite a few times already. And I hope this is the last time I'm removing it. It should be the last time. Today I had a busy day. First I had a music lesson. A music lesson that I'm teaching. So it's a Zoom lesson. I normally do it from a different location. Sometimes I've been known to do it from here, but so I had to cut it short because a text message came in. Let me put this here. From Bob Elliott. Bob Elliott is the owner of the studio here. This is Bob Elliott's Music Makers NY. And we had a miscommunication. He thought I was going to be here early today for the Dario String sponsored event that they're doing, not me, but I'm just helping, all right? So I had to cut my lesson short, and then come here early. But there was another issue. The lock, the main entrance lock, had an issue. They couldn't open it. They managed to come in through the other door. Well, there are two entrances. But I also needed to fix that lock because, I fix everything here, or almost everything. To be expected, right? This is a repair shop. So, what am I going to shim it with? I'm going to use sandpaper, self-adhesive sandpaper. Okay, so this is a piece of self-adhesive sandpaper that's been used, I guess. Has it been used? Oh no, not this one. So I shouldn't be using this one. Okay, this one's used. Okay. Just put it like this. And then trim it. Now, normally, I only put one layer, and that's what I'm going to do this time. Let's see. There's no reason to buy shims unless you want to spend money. So what's the difference between actual shims and paper? Just the price, no other difference. Let's not talk about how it affects the tone. If this affects the tone, then yeah. Hi. So, can you see? Nah, here. You can see it now. All right, that's the sandpaper. It's self-adhesive, and that's the thickness. And it usually works. So I put it like this. I rarely have to put any additional layers of anything. You can also use self-adhesive tape. I just have these leftovers, so I just kind of save them and use them for this. I like the abrasive feel of them because when you put the neck in the neck pocket, well, it's just additional friction. I mean, not that the neck can go anywhere, but you know. Okay, cool. So this plate doesn't have a logo, so it doesn't matter which way you put it. I always say this, just you know, go counterclockwise first until you feel a click. It just clicked. This way you drive the screw back in the same threads that you already cut on the previous screw up. Okay. Now, because you don't want to keep cutting new threads and keep enlarging the hole. Oh, it just clicked. Okay. That's just a little subtlety about wood screws, especially on this neck joint, right? That's the most important joint on any guitar, whether it's a bolt-on neck or any other type of neck joint. Are the only guitars that don't have a neck joint, obviously, are the neck through body designs. A lot of basses are like that. And yeah, now we can start stringing this. And I'm lazy today, so I'm going to use a power tool. Let me check my battery here, the computer battery. Oh, cool. All right. 7 people watching. There's a whole audience chatting. Okay, you guys can chat. I'm still thinking of, well, I mean, I want to do it. I want to install an additional monitor here so I can read the chats as I work, and then I can just talk back, answer questions. But I need more than 300 subscribers to justify buying an extra monitor, especially since I just spent a whole bunch of money on some equipment. Yeah. So the other equipment was a priority, I think. And it's just kind of, I see something here, so I need to remove it. It's just from the pick guard, the way they routed it. It just bothered me there. I'm going to keep the, whatchamacallit, the protective foil on the pickup. The customer can remove this at some later time, but since I'm still working on the guitar, and also I don't want to jinx it. Removing it ahead of time is bad luck. So this is a heel adjustment truss rod. So we need to, and you know what? In that case, let me just loosen a little bit these screws. I forgot about that. Okay, they're not like really loose. They're just not super tight now, because I guess I'm gonna have to remove the neck. Now on a Tele with a single coil pickup that's mounted on the body, so when you don't see the two little screws here. Oh, you know, I also need to mount the string tree. Okay, so these are not staggered tuners, which means, and we're only going to use one string tree, which means here I need to measure up a little extra length for the D string, so that we increase the break angle a little bit. So let's do this one more time. Can I? Yeah, look at that. Untwist the string and let's go. So I almost forgot about the string tree, which means I didn't forget, because almost never happens. So yeah, so depending on what kind of tuners you have, so these aren't staggered. These are the vintage ones. We want more wraps on the G tuning post, so that the string is forced in the downwards direction to slightly increase the break angle. In fact, that's why they invented staggered tuners, so they don't need to do this. Can I bitch and complain a little bit? Tell me. I'm not going to complain about the guitar or about the guitar body, something else. Potential customers. So when people call me, sometimes I will answer the phone. Okay, it just depends, you know. But hold on. Usually no. Okay. Because, you know, then people just want to get into like some discussions about my guitar this, my guitar that, and to me that's all consulting. As soon as we talk about your guitar, it's consulting. So if you have a medical issue, you need to go to the doctor, you don't talk about it over the phone. You come, you pay, right? First thing they ask you is what kind of insurance you have. Oh, we're out of network, this and that, okay? And then we talk about your back pain or whatever it is. So why would I talk about someone's guitar over the phone that I haven't even seen? And how people are describing their guitars is just, you know, can never rely, I mean, on people's descriptions. So I do have a text message that I simply copy and paste. So people call me, I don't answer, I wait for this thing to ring, and then immediately, usually immediately, they just get a text message. Now this this guy, or I don't know if he's a guy, I'm just gonna say guy, called today, and look at that. There's no, okay, and then texted me right away before I could even text him or her. Okay, no big deal. I do the same thing, and I'll show you. So I don't want to show you the customer's phone number, so I need to kind of hide it. But I want to show you what I need to put up with. So I am framing it so that you don't see the customer's phone number. Yeah, because that wouldn't be fair. It's not a customer. I'll never see that person. Why can't I focus this? It's too close, right? Mm-hmm. So I try to be fair, right? Is that in focus? Let me see. Yeah, it's in focus. Okay, so I just need to make sure that I'm not flashing the customer's phone number. So now let's see the text message here. So he sends me this guitar. Hi, is this something that could be repaired? So my copy and paste message is this. Hello, it appears that you called the Guitar Quackery helpline. I'm either on the phone or working on a guitar. To get a reply, right, please text back to this number with the following information. Your full name, make and model of the guitar, brief reason for your call. I already flashed the answer. A brief reason for your call. Please note that because of an overwhelming demand for services, I will only be able to reply to callers who provide all the information as requested. Thank you very much. And that's the reply. It's a Fender acoustic. So if you read this and you read through it and it says, I will only be able to reply to callers who provide all the information as requested. Why bother replying if you are not going to provide all the information, right? Why waste your time? So that's it. And sometimes I don't get a reply at all. And I respect that. Okay, they don't want to deal with this. That's fine. But yeah, if you're not going to provide, so why do I need all the information? Well, for a number of reasons. So first, I really hate it when I get a reply, hey, it's Mike, you know, the most common name. So now I would enter that into their phone. So this would go into my address book, Mike who. Now, you know, I've sent wrong messages to wrong people because I just had it like that. So no, you got to provide that. And there's other reasons if you can think of the reasons. And also make and model of the guitar. Well, you know, if we're talking about a guitar that's like a really cheap guitar, I'll work on it, but I want to know this in advance. And then I'm going to tell them that, you know, what deal is. So the strings are too low now, which is what I like to see, which means I'm going to have to raise the saddles a little bit. Let's do the string tree. Can I just put it down this way? No, not really. I kind of want to. Let me see. How about this? Almost. Just need to shim it up a little bit. Okay, so where do we put it? Let me Google it. I have a tele there. I could just look. Google. String tree on a Telecaster. Let's see. A couple of different ways to install. So this one, this type of string tree, this style. I need to recharge my battery. Just give it a little, okay, boost. So I need to use the switcher here. Okay, fine. So, oh, and we have the, strap buttons. Okay, so this is for the strap buttons. I did find 2 extra screws. Oh no, those are for here. I found some extra screws we can put here because there's some screws missing. And this is for later. So this is the string tree right there. Let's put this camera here. Okay. Yeah. So there was a little hesitation there because my switch is doing something weird. Okay. So this thing has 2 little cutouts for the strings. Okay. So that's how you need to put it. Okay. It needs to snap. And according to Dr. Google there, I'm looking at a picture. It should be around here. So like this. All right, so now how do we do this? Well, I have a set of drill bits of all sizes. So first, let me find a drill bit that matches the exact diameter of the hole through the string tree. I guess we measure it first. Yeah, so I'm just using my caliper. 0. Okay. The inside diameter is 127 1/1000ths of an inch. I am measuring in inches because my drill bits, what I said, 127 1/1000ths of an inch. Yeah, my drill bits are in inches. So 120 128. Let's see if the 128 fits. Not all the way through, because there's a burr. So we can deburr it a little bit with the countersink. So this is what I'm seeing. So it does go through here, through this side, but here it hits this thing. So, oops. So we just deburr it a little bit. And now maybe it will go through. You see? Okay. So I'm going to use this side that has the sharp tip, right? So now when I put it back, again, I make sure it snaps in place. And there's really no I don't know of a good way of, I think like this. Okay, that's it, right? And I'm looking from above and it looks perfect. So next, I'm going to take another tool, this thingy. And where is it? Over here. Just push it down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. That's good. And now we need to drill through. So I'm going to take a measurement. Of the screw, like kind of measuring between the threads. So it says 85/1000 of an inch. I can make it smaller. So how about 76? Aye. Let's test it here. Let's see. So this does need to be a tight thing. Because the strings are going to be pulling the string tree in the upwards direction, right? Which screwdriver size? That's the too big. That's the needs the small one. I mean, it seems to be pretty tight. And it's going to be even tighter in this wood grain, right? So I'm going to double check something. Let's unscrew it. Yeah, you know, measure twice, cut once. You know, that's the old Chinese proverb. And I want to see how it lines up. So we'll use the microscope. A little more light. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to use the smaller one. I'm going to use the smaller one. The smaller size, which is going to be, so this is the 48 gauge, whatever, number 48. So the 49 gauge is the smaller one. And let me look at this one. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. You also don't want it to be too tight. So I don't need to test this because the bigger one was really tight in the MDF, tight enough. Obviously, there's no point of testing this one. And now we just need to mark off the depth with a piece of tape, which I have right here. All right, and I compare it to the length of the screw. Okay, keep switching like this now. So, yeah, plenty, right? And we just double check that it's not going to blow through the headstock, right? You see? It is not, right? So now I just do this. And I need to hold it perfectly at a 90-degree angle. Okay. Looks good. One thing with this kind of maple, what is it called again? Not baked, roasted maple, is that yeah, it no longer has the same properties as the wood it's made from. So hold on, let me put this tape away. So you can kind of see how it makes a really clean hole. But if this was maple, just maple, not roasted, you would have those tiny wood fibers on the inside of the hole. And that's actually better for driving a wood screw into the hole, right? I guess let me show you. Here you can see. So you see, it's kind of like all these. The sawdust looks different from a regular maple, and yeah, it'll still work. Where's the screw? Okay. So now, nothing to it. I just drive it in with a screwdriver. So no need to go counterclockwise now, right? Because we are doing this for the first time. So now the wood screw is cutting threads for the first time into the fibers. And I guess that's kind of neat. So let's view it from this angle. Okay, we can see it right there. And here, let's drive it in. So take your time when you do this. As we hit the bottom, sometimes you need to loosen the strings a little bit. As we hit the bottom, it's going to want to spin this disc shape or whatever donut shape string tree retainer. So something to keep in mind. And what I'm going to do is, just so I can monitor it, I'm just going to put a little dot here so you see if it's spinning, because otherwise it's hard to tell. Okay. And now let's see if it rattles. No, it's solid. Okay, so I would say it's been properly installed. All right, let's clean up a little bit. So they just wrapped up a rehearsal. People are hugging each other and okay. I can close this page now. 10 people watching. Okay. All right. So that's how you install a string tree. One method, I guess. So if you liked what you just saw, tap, 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 tap. Okay. And if you didn't, then keep watching. Maybe you'll like the rest of it. So I did find 2 extra screws here. And I think these actually belong to the control plate. But they're probably the same as the other ones. Let me see, just in case. I see, I just put the screwdriver away. Let me see. Yeah. Yes. Huh? Yeah. Okay. She left. Okay. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. 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 But why did she leave without the guitar? Why did she leave without the guitar?
She had to run, and I don't think she knows it was. She ran to work, and she just forgot about it. Yeah. So, but luckily, you know her, so.
All right.
Well, thank you. Appreciate your work today.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so these 2 screws, I think they look a little different. So they probably belong to because they were in a separate little bag. I imagine they belong to the control plate. And my phone is okay, kind of now. So I can keep using the phone for switching. Okay, that's my switcher app. Okay, so what I just do, okay, I remove this one, I'm putting it here. And I know this must be boring, but you know, it's a live stream. I'm just servicing a guitar. Okay, now, I don't think he wants these bags. Okay, where's it at now? So it looks a little bit low, even if the strings are not at full tension yet. I guess we could tune the guitar. I didn't file the nut. I don't think so. So I'm gonna have to file the nut. So this has already been a 54-minute live stream. Yeah, so the nut is very high. We need to fix the nut before we can even think about adjusting the action. So how long is this going to take? Oh, let me check. 27 minutes and 35 seconds. It's a bit noisy. I know you don't hear it. That's why I bought this mic. So the nut is really, really high, which is why I'm going to use a Hasco step gauge to get it started. The Hasco step gauge. Phenomenal tool. All right. Where's my water? I actually need to check my text messages. They are very excited, so I give them a minute. It's understandable. But I need to focus on the work, so I'm going to just check my text messages. Something important. Okay. All right, and this one. This one. Okay, I already got a reply. And I need to log my water intake. So where are we? Here. I didn't log it today, so I'm just kind of estimating it. Okay. Okay, now they just left. You see, perfect timing. So now we can focus on the work. So how does this work? It's something I did show on the channel many times in the past, but there's always a new audience watching. This is it. Oh, my phone, my switcher. Hasco, Japanese company. They made this. Okay, this is a great tool. So I'm going to measure the height of the fret, which I know what it is already. So, yeah. So now I'm going to cut this. So now let's measure. Let's focus first. The height of the string slot. It's way too high, 1.7 millimeters. Right, so this is a really fantastic tool. I'll show you through the microscope. So this is how I measure it, and you can see this number 17. That's 1.7 millimeters. It's got these steps, so it could be 1.7 or a little bit less. I just know that it's more than 1.6 because 1.6 doesn't fit. okay, when this and this is against the fingerboard. Now, this should never be used to file it all the way down, because you might have a dimple somewhere on the fingerboard or something uneven, and that's going to throw off your measurement. So this is just to be used so that you don't fatigue the string by putting it on and off all the time, while you're still filing the bulk of the material when it's still in the safe zone. Especially this string slot is very close to this, and we do need to file it at an angle, and we always risk hitting the back. I mean, this part of the, technically the fingerboard extension, I guess. So it's a good idea to put a little bit of tape there, which is what I'm about to do. And I'm going to double it up. Now, if you do hit it, and I do hit it all the time, nobody will ever see it. It's right there under the string. But we try to protect it. How about that? And so I just rip the tape in half. Now it's doubled up, and I take anything like this, put it through, and bring it over to the other side. And I put it here, and yeah. Okay. That's it. It's a 46 gauge string. This player likes to use 10s, 10 to 46, so we're going to use a 46 gauge file to file it. And you can see the nut through the microscope. We can zoom in a little bit. Let's just examine the string slot. So yeah, so it's never been filed by hand, which is fine. I mean, this is how you expect to see a nut when you buy a new neck. And I am going to put a little mark at the bottom. All right, just to see if I'm hitting the bottom or not. So this is not a bad product, okay? Every time you buy a guitar nut, as in pre-slotted guitar nut, it's just a blank. It's a half-made thing. You need to finish it off on the guitar. So now we basically widened it. I still have a little bit of a black pencil mark here. But we also want to make sure we reshape it in terms of pitch. And you can see that I'm doing this right now. So I'm hitting the backhand. And now is when I am likely to hit this part of the fingerboard extension. That's not really the fingerboard extension. I just made up that term, but whatever. Okay. So I think it's a bone nut. So Musicraft, you know, they make really high quality necks. Okay, and now normally we would put the string back on, tune it to pitch or, you know, close to pitch, check the height. But now with the Hasco step gauge, I can just measure that height without putting the string on and off. So we are at 1.4 millimeters. So we are approaching the 1 millimeter height. I don't want to go lower than that with this method. And the frets are 0.9 millimeters. I already worked on the frets, right? Of course, I'm gonna double check. Yeah. It's also very sharp, so once the frets are polished up, just be careful not to scratch them. Because this is stainless steel, so it's much harder than the frets. It's gonna scratch them. I'm gonna file it a little more. And take another measurement. So it's not yet down to 1.2. It is approaching 1.1. So here's where, you know, we need to be slowing down a bit. And by slowing down, I mean also putting less pressure on the file when we are filing, which is something you don't see on the video. You don't see the difference, but I am explaining it. Okay, so we are down to 1.1 millimeters. And so at this point, I could do another pass and then take a measurement, but I'm just gonna do another pass and then measure with the string. And now this goes in 1/10 of a millimeter increments. 1/10 of a millimeter is 100 microns, okay? But we're gonna measure it down to about 20 microns safety margin or resolution, whatever. So first I eyeball it, and it's really close to where I want it to be, but I can tell that it's higher. I want to check the arching here, just make sure it's not throwing off my measurement. And I kind of want to know how much I need to remove. Not much at all. In fact, I'm already within 50 microns. So the height should be between 20 and 50 microns. So 2.251 of a millimeter, and I'm at 5/100ths. So I'm just gonna call it good because it is good. And now I'll move on to the A string. The other reason why I don't want to file it too low, bone is an inconsistent material, and this one feels a bit soft. So that doesn't mean that it's not going to last. It can last a lifetime, but I just want to err on the side of caution, okay? So now take another measurement of the other string. So I'm double checking the fret height, and then I am going to check the string height, not the string height, not string slot height. So this one is a little bit lower than the other one was. Fine. And we're using a 36 gauge file. I'm too old for this. So we are using a 36 gauge file. Yeah, because we're putting a 36 gauge string. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, let me show you the. So first, I like to examine, you know, the work area. And like I said, that's a 36 gauge. Yeah. Let's just do it. I'm not putting a pencil mark now. Okay. I think this is a pre-lubricated bone. So you saw how the pencil, see, it's slipping off. So I really don't know for sure, but I've seen bone like this before, and it doesn't feel like bone when I buy from All Parts. Sorry, I lost something. So I think that some of these are impregnated with some kind of lubricant, like wax or something, which is a good thing. But you could see how slippery this surface was when I showed you through the microscope, right? So I can't even really draw a dark line with a pencil because it feels very slippery. Look at that, okay? Right. So once again, I'm reshaping. We need that pitch at the back end, and we need it to be a curved surface. And I've explained this technique before, so here it's almost parallel to the strings, and by the time I come here, you see how it tilts automatically, right? You actually can't keep it straight. So this is going to automatically make a curve at the bottom, which is exactly what we want. So I see some luthiers, usually when they use a long file, they try to keep it straight like this. Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid. Because then if it's a straight line, then you have two contact points on the string, because the string will always bend like this. So if you have a straight line, like that's the bottom, a bending string is going to touch touch it here and here. But I want it to only touch here and then just kind of flare out at the back end, if that makes sense. And, you know, I want to remind you that there is a like button. So let me see how many of you liked. 8, but 14 watching. So maybe not all people watching actually like this information. I don't know. You tell me by clicking the button. And if you really like it, because there's no super chat button yet, there's a button that says buy me a coffee underneath in the description. So if you just want to buy me a coffee, I feel like I'm going to need one soon. Yeah, you can do that. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm seeing a little fracture there in the bone at the bottom, right there. I think it's a fracture, but I'm not worried about it. It's not near the edge. Let me see if it's a fracture. I think it is, right? It's inside the bone. It's not coming off. So that's a little fracture. It's a hairline fracture going through this part of the bone. It's right in the middle of the nut. I mean, honestly, I'm pointing it out. I don't even know why. I know the owner of this guitar is watching. Don't get nervous. Nothing's going to fall apart. It's fine. But, you know, I'm just pointing it out. And that's really not something that anyone can control. So the animal just had a fracture. Some, you know, maybe after they slaughtered the animal, somehow this happened. Okay, so let's take a measurement. So now that I have an audience of 14, some of you might be new to this channel. I have another channel called Guitar Quackery. This channel is called Guitar Quackery Live. And there's going to be a mind-blowing announcement soon on the other channel. So check out the other channel and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified, because I am already working on the announcement. I've recorded a bunch of videos and I am editing them into a final product, which is called a YouTube video. And why is it taking me so long? Well, last time I worked on this guitar was 2 days ago. So today is Saturday, right? So on Thursday, I went to bed at 7 a.m. because this kept me up, and then I still had to do some more work. And I know you believe me, but I can show you. So, yeah, I can show you. So this is my sleep schedule. And this is something that I really need to fix in my life. So I have the Apple Watch, yeah? So it keeps track of my life. And it tracks me everywhere. Well, we all know that, so we're going to get tracked with or without the Apple Watch. Yeah, okay. So let's zoom in a little bit more on this, on these stats. Okay. Or can we put it this way? No, we can't. Okay, they need to fix this app. There's a reflection coming from somewhere. Oh, okay, whatever. So here, have a look at this. So here you see, this says 7 a.m. That's when I went to bed. That was Friday. So on Thursday I was working into the Friday. I went to bed at 7 a.m. I slept this much. I slept more last night. I still went to bed after 1 at 2 a.m. So 3 a.m. went to bed, that's 3 a.m. After 3 a.m., 3 a.m., close to 3 a.m., 5 a.m., something like that. So I rarely go to bed before midnight. I can't remember when was the last time I went to bed before midnight. So here I had a nap during the day. So maybe here, but that's awake time. So sometimes my body just can't take it anymore, and I just sleep and sleep and sleep. But then you see, I did wake up in the middle of the night. I think that's wakey time, right? Let me check. Let's check this one day. Yeah, that's time awake. It says here awake, right? Deep sleep, this. So yeah, look at that. So, as you can see, my sleep is inconsistent, you know. It's too jaggedy. It would be better if it was, you know, just a little wave, you know, not close to midnight, but, well, I can't even scroll. But that's it. So, okay, back to business. So yeah, so why did I show you this? I haven't even had time to edit the damn thing, the video announcement. I've done very little editing on it. You know, just kind of like organized the files and looked at them. The files, the video recordings. I gotta put this camera back here. And whose fault is it? Well, in this case, it's a guitar mill's fault, because they made a body like this. And sometimes it's Fender's fault, sometimes it's Martin's fault. It's never my fault. So going back to that message at the beginning from that customer, I clearly say that I'm only going to respond to those who provide all the information as requested. Well, I can't take every customer that calls, so this is the audition. So right away, if they start waving red flags, okay, I'm glad I know this before I met you. And I'm glad I didn't pick up the phone and talked about your guitar, since I'm not going to be even seeing your guitar. another customer is waiting on a Partscaster. Not a Partscaster. A Fender mod project, which I'm going to be live streaming for sure, since it's a modification. But we had to come to some agreements about how we're going to be doing the project. Let me check the message, because I did tell him that I would call him today. I mean, call him, text him. Let me see. Oh, he just liked my thing. Got so busy I didn't even get a chance to look at your guitar yesterday. I should be able to get back to you on Saturday, which is today still. Oh man, when am I going to look at his guitar? On Saturday. I need to look at it before midnight so that it's technically Saturday. He can wait. Okay. Yeah. We're getting close. All right, so let's check. So now the question is, am I going to fall asleep doing this? Well, if I do, my watch is going to log it. So these side walls are kind of high, and then sometimes that file likes to get stuck like this. Gotta be careful not to chip off the nut. So if this is in fact a bone that's impregnated with some kind of lubricant, which I believe it is, I would say that this is not the type of nut that we can fix using dental composites, because of that lubricant. You've seen me fix bone nuts using dental composites on this channel, and I think on the other channel as well. But that's when it's just bone and nothing but bone. But if you mix, I mean, if you kind of like soak it in wax. So how would I do it? So bone is porous, right? What I would do is I would cut it into smaller pieces, and then I would dip it in wax, hot wax, put the jar in a vacuum chamber and suck all the air out of the bone, and you'd see bubbles come out of the bone through the liquid wax, and that means that the wax would go into those air pockets, which would no longer remain as air pockets. And that means that if that's what this material is, and I don't know for sure, this is just what it feels like, we cannot fix this type of bone with dental composites or any kind of other, because things don't really like to stick to wax, right? I really only like to use the dental composites when I fix a vintage guitar, if the bone nut needs to be fixed. We don't want to replace the nut. I'm just a little above that target height. Yeah. So the string doesn't need to be tuned exactly to pitch when I measure it. It just needs to be tight. I didn't have a coffee today yet. I'm actually running low on coffee, which is why you can click that button that says buy me a coffee. I'll buy a coffee. Ah, that sounds good and looks good and is good. All right, cool. All right, so let's move over to the D string. Yeah, we'll use a 28 gauge file for that one because this is 26 gauge string. Is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Let me check, double check here. Yeah, 26, what'd I tell you? 26 gauge string. Focus, focus, focus. And then we have a 17, 13, and 10. So, I put my jacket here. Did everyone leave? I can't hear anyone. Yeah, I'm checking just to make sure that the strings are not moving inside of the knot. Oh, sorry, not this one. Right? That's good. Now this one is the one we are about to cut. It's very high, so we remove the string. Quick exam, you can see how it's been cut like a more like a V shape, and you know, that's not what we want. So you know, I don't even need to measure the height. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. I know it's too high. What's the point of measuring? So for whatever reason, my switcher isn't switching, and this happened before, and I don't know what to do about it right now. I'm trying to switch, and this is really annoying. So my switcher isn't switching to anything right now, okay? Which means I can either continue just like this, or I need to, maybe I just continue like this, I guess. Still too high. So I don't know if that's kind of like the firmware needs to be debugged. There's a bug. When it's not switching. It happened a few times on during live streams. Too high. You can see that I always clean the file. So this customer is hoping to pick up the guitar today. And it'll be ready today, technically, I guess. And again, I'll be working late. So once I'm done with the nut, the rest of the setup is going to be pretty quick. So technically, it's only 9. The night is young. So these are the Music Nomad files, and they're good. I wish, so this is the 28 gauge. I wish it had grit on the side like the other smaller gauges have, but starting from the 28 and up, they no longer have that. So that's one of the things that I would improve. I would make them just slightly longer. Yeah, so those are the two things that I would want to improve on. I can see it's too high, but I just want to take a measurement because it's close. Yeah, man. So I'm going to continue filing the nut only using this camera, because I don't think that my switcher is miraculously going to start working, because if I restart the switcher, it'll end this live stream. So and I need to reboot for the switcher to do whatever it does when it reboots, and then it starts working again. And I got 10 people watching, and I really hate to lose an audience, but it's not going to be possible to do the rest of the setup only using this camera, right? The nut is fine. For the nut, right? It works for the nut, but not for the rest of the set. So now it's fine. It's good height. Let me just kind of eyeball the heights on these strings. Too high, too high, too high. And the next one is a 17 gauge string. Once again, well, I can't show you the microscope view of it, but I am looking through the microscope now. I just moved it over, focusing, and I see some contamination inside, just some hairs or fibers, whatever. So let me start reshaping it into a curved bottom. Okay, and now we take a measurement. Let's go ahead and do some filing. So the best nut material, in my opinion, is nylon. But it's really difficult to file it. It's self-lubricating, and like I said, it's really difficult to file it, so this means it's gonna last forever. Definitely gonna last longer than any of the frets on the guitar. It's way too high. I don't even want to know the measurement, but yeah. So since this is a, I think it's a self-lubricating bone nut impregnated with wax, do I need to lubricate it? Good question. I'm glad you asked. It's not gonna hurt to lubricate it, right? I mean, I just put a microscopically small amount of lubricant adding to it. How can it possibly hurt? So what I'll do is I am going to finish filing this nut, and then I am going to end this live stream without switching to anything because the switcher isn't cooperating, and then I will restring. No, we just put the new strings on. I'm going to lubricate the nut, and I'm going to tune the guitar, and then I'm going to start another live stream. See, my crystal ball didn't tell me that this was not, turned out not to be the last live stream. What are we streaming now? Part 11, I think, right? On this project. Ah, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. That, now we have a 13 gauge string. Oh, we have a string tree, so we can just do this. And I'm going to take a 13 gauge file. Okay. So I wish I could show you this now, because this definitely looks like wax. I'm just scratching off here. So I think they make a prefabricated nut, a whole bunch of them, and then probably, see, this is wax. Soak them in hot wax, and then put the jar in the vacuum chamber, and that's probably how they ensure that wax goes deeper inside into the tissue, into all the air pockets. I might try that. Experiment a little bit. Maybe even make a YouTube video about it. See, I haven't even measured anything yet. I'm just filing. I feel confident. .4 millimeters. It goes faster on the treble side because these files are sharper, right? The smaller files can cut through quickly. I'm decreasing pressure. You know, I don't push down as much at the as I'm leaving the safe zone. Yeah. Let's start putting the string back on. Too high. See how these smaller files have grit on the side. I wish the bigger gauge file had the same. I don't know why they don't. Man, I just see a mosquito here. I just killed it. Yeah. So, this is it. This mosquito isn't going to reproduce, lay eggs. So I didn't just kill one, I killed a whole generation, a whole family, potential family. And this is just the beginning of the mosquito season, so I killed a lot. as we all should. Almost done with the B string. Let me check this way. Excellent. All right. And now we have one string left. Again, no need to measure anything. And here through the microscope, I wish I could show you this. I can definitely see a bunch of wax there, which means that throws off my measurement. This is a layer of wax, really thick. Oh, wow. So I want to know, I want to confirm that this is in fact wax. So why don't I take a sample and we're going to melt it with a heat gun, see if it melts. Oh, come on. I can't even tell if... Yeah, those are microscopic amounts. So, in the next part, which is going to be part, what, 12, I think, I need to remember to test this so we can all discover this together. But you see, I just removed a whole bunch of wax, which made this string slot appear taller than it actually is, obviously. Which means now I need to do this first. And it's still too tall. Too bad my switcher isn't working because I wanted to show you this. Hasco step gauge. I'm going to put a link in the description if you want to buy one. And remember, all the links are affiliate links, which means I get paid a little bit, but you don't pay extra. It comes out of the vendor's pocket. Okay. That's still too high. Well, I measured this way this time. Fine. Same thing. In this case, because I'm not winding and unwinding the string in this case. I'm just putting it in and out of the string tree, right? That doesn't fatigue the string as much. And I'm almost done with this. So that's one thing to remember. It always seems to cut faster on the treble side, which means you can overcut easily, more easily on the treble side. So if you're like me and you like to start on the bass side and you overcut on the last one, then you ruin the nut on the last one, and all of the other ones are well, the whole nut is garbage. Then you need to start from scratch. So now, even if you see me do kind of like the same number of strokes, I'm holding the file very, very lightly, which means it's not cutting as aggressively. Yeah, okay. I measure 40 microns on this one. So, like I said, I mean, I can attempt to switch. Let me see. So, this is camera 2, right? Camera 1 is green. Let me see if it's going to switch. It doesn't switch, you see. It tries to switch. Still, camera 2 is red, right? I don't know. How about if I cut? Nothing. How about now? Nothing. Okay, friends, so as you can see, I cannot switch. This isn't working. I need to reboot the switcher, not the app. I mean, I can try to kind of close the app, but I tried on the switcher as well, and it wasn't working. So I can restart the app, switcher, still the same. Let me see. Nothing. Okay. So the switcher isn't working. I'm going to have to push the stop live stream button on the computer, but I can't switch cameras from the computer. It's the switcher itself, right? And then I am going to take a short break. Basically, I need to clean up the files, tune the guitar, remove this. I guess I can remove this now. Lubricate the nut, and then we'll finish the setup on this guitar. All right. So sorry about this ending, which is, you know, not the usual standard on this channel. But perhaps I'll see you soon. If you liked any of this, you know, oh, look at that, 11 likes and only 8 watching. Okay, cool. All right, so friends, maybe I'll see some of you in a minute, in a few minutes. Maybe not. It's all good either way. All right, bye-bye.